My name is Liam and I'm the second half of Grover's Best Man double act. You're all very welcome to beautiful County Clare on the west coast of Ireland for a very special day for us. I hope you appreciate the beautiful sunset that Tony and I personally organised this evening. We did our best. We had an amazing day yesterday with a beautiful Sikh blessing, followed by a great evening of food, dancing and colour. Today, Juli and her bridesmaids look absolutely beautiful, I'm sure you'll all agree. I like to think the guys scrubbed up reasonably well as well. No secrets today, but Tony has size 7 shoes, which makes him pretty much a girl.
With 4 children.
Jimmy and Kevin spent the afternoon as to which one of them looked most like James Bond in their class. When the answer clearly was huge. Many people have travelled a really long way to be with us here today to celebrate the day. We have people from Canada, the US, from England, from Scotland, and some people all the way from Cork.
You forgot the Indians, man.
Thanks very much, good evening. So, back in the 1920s, Ireland was a tough place to be. Like so many of their contemporaries, various members of the Rowley, O'Malley and MacDonagh family left counties Mayo and Galway in search of a better life in America. It was a common path for many people across the Atlantic. 11 years ago, in 2003, a young Canadian of proud Indian heritage made the reverse journey across the Atlantic Sea, settling in Cork City, Ireland, to train as a doctor. Now, some students come from North America and arrive armed with a calendar and a red marker, and they impatiently cross off the days in exile until they return home. Grover, as he is known to us here in Ireland, realised that for the next few years he was stuck with us and we were stuck with him, and he made the courageous decision to throw himself into Cork life. He soon realised that it rains for 10 months of the year in Ireland and then winter sets in. He soon realised that the term boy, as in how's it going boy, was a pretty unique Cork term of endearment. He soon realised that in Cork we drink Murphy's, and anyone who drinks Guinness is an occasional tourist, or worse still, from Dublin. Before very long, he was one of us, talking too quickly and swearing more than he ever thought possible. Grover and I studied together and studied hard over the next 5 years. In 2008, he graduated with honours, having decided along the way that paediatrics was his calling. He worked in Ireland for a year after graduation, and after sampling the delights of a 36-hour shift with no sleep, and realising that Mallow Hospital had taught him all that it possibly ever could, he set sail back across the Atlantic for the bright lights of Boston. Now, with his brown skin and hybrid Canadian-Irish accent that made him sound suspiciously like Bob Marley, he arrived off the plane as a self-declared honorary Irishman. Now, in a town with historic Irish-American bonds, this Canadian with proud Sikh traditions was probably greeted with a little scepticism, to say the least, when he announced his Irish claims. However, it soon became clear that this was not the occasional dubious claim to Irish ancestry which people sometimes make. After all, Grover had by now lived in Ireland for more than 6 years. He had drank pints in Tom Barry's pub. He had eaten in Jackie Lennox's chipper on the Brandon Road. He'd seen Munster win not one but 2 Heineken Cups. He saw Cork play hurling in Semple Stadium. And he fiercely defended Roy Keane at every available opportunity. He had been imbued with that sense of stubbornness, story and song that is unique to Cork. His Irishness was not in doubt. He was now one of us. Not surprising then that before long he met a young nurse colleague named Juli that knew a good Irishman when she saw him. Grover and my frequent telephone conversations about hospital life in Boston soon changed as he told me of his new life outside of the hospital with Juli and the Rowley family, summer barbecues, trips to Cape Cod and all that goes with it. I admired his bravery as he prepared for life with a girl whose both brothers carry guns. So it seems entirely appropriate that we find ourselves back in Ireland today to celebrate Juli and Grover's wedding. If I may, I'm going to wrap up with a very brief Irish poem. This is by the Irish poet John O'Donoghue, and it's called Beannacht, which translates roughly as greeting or blessing. This is for Juli and Grover as they enter married life. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo red, green and azure blue, come to awaken you, a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought, and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours, may the clarity of light be yours, may the fluency of the ocean be yours, may the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so, may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Ladies and gentlemen, to the bride and groom.
Yeah.